Hi everyone, I'm Nandini and it gives me immense pleasure to welcome all of you all on behalf of BookMyStory, the book creation arm of RNS Enterprise. This is a space that helps authors, entrepreneurs, coaches, consultants, trainers to publish their books on a global scale with a complete range of services from ghostwriting, editing, proofreading, cover designing, publishing, print on demand, listing on Amazon globally and Kindle, all of this alongside marketing and promoting your book on a global scale. As I speak, today is a very special day because we are delighted to introduce to all of y'all our guest for today, Mr. Dilip K Ghosh. Sir, a very warm welcome to this platform. We are delighted to have you here. To tell you all a little bit more about him, he has been a part of different universities and IITs and served in various capacities from registrar to vice chancellor, advisor, consultant. He was a World Bank consultant, a Fulbright scholar, and has held a fellowship awarded by the Association of Commonwealth Universities, London. So once again, a very warm welcome. We are thrilled to be having this conversation with you.
Thank you very much for all that you have said about me.
So today we are here to talk about your fourth book, which is all about the challenging scenarios on how universities globally would survive this era of market forces to fulfill their objectives. So you have been an author to 3 pioneering books in the field of higher education system and management, each of which is one of its kind. Your first book was in 1980 about university systems in India, whereas your second book was about the higher education system in UK, dealing with the late 1980s crisis led due to Margaret Thatcher's government and how the government abruptly decided to reduce the funds and ask the universities to raise funds. And your third book was on new era in university systems and how to generate income in a higher education society. And while I read and researched about this, sir, I rather noticed that you have a very rare combination as a practicing higher education manager with a deep academic interest, which is reflected in your publication of books and over 3 dozen papers, which certainly positions you very uniquely in this space, where you have dedicated 4 decades of your life to universities and IITs as registrar, vice chancellor, advisor, consultant. You have also been consultant for World Bank and Reliance Industries, and you have also worked with organizations like Tata and the shipping group of Goa for technical education. You have done so much excellent work that the list goes on and on, sir. So I'd be thrilled to ask you the very first question for today. So I think it would be very interesting to know what led you to write so extensively on the huge global higher education system, that too focusing on market forces, which I think is very new for many of us in the higher education system.
Well, this is a very good question. Not only good question, this is a crucial question. Since the globalization that has been prior to 1999, but around that time, the knowledge economy has come to the world.
Yeah.
Because, you can go to anywhere under the World Trade Organization and you can compete with your goods. So it depends on your knowledge and skill, how you sell your product and services and all that. So everybody realized, all these nations, that it is knowledge which can enhance our competitive abilities. Because when people came to know about it, and people also realized that can come from where? Only from universities, from colleges. Because the university is called a knowledge factory. And the famous professor of Harvard University, Louis Menand, has said, knowledge is the main business of the university.
Absolutely.
And this is what the university is doing for the last 1,000 years, mind it. And that the position of the university since then to now is much more than ever before. There was a time when the knowledge was only for the own sake, but now it is knowledge is for the world's sake. So, and then that has come under stress. What is the stress? Stress is because of money. Everybody wants to study, and then we don't have enough money to educate everywhere. But then at the same time, people have aspirations, so more students. So you need space, you need teachers, you need infrastructure, facilities and all that. So that money is the main thing. Because of the money, the competition started. So the market force is that within that limited money which is available to any institution, that how we manage it. So that is all about the market force.
My second question would be, to begin with, it would be good to know how big is the global higher education system that the book is all about. And for obvious reasons, our Indian listeners would like to know briefly something about the size and the broad issue that the new education policy 2020 has highlighted for the 21st century India.
As I mentioned, that after the globalization, that people are all after knowledge. So therefore, people now know that what we acquire, the knowledge, on that basis we can make our life better. Therefore, the number of students that rose. I will give you briefly a figure of in 1970 we had roughly 33 million students in the world. In 1999, it was almost about 100 million. In 2011, it was 182 million. In 2014, it was 214 million about, and 2020 it is 265 million. Now, between 220, because there is 2020 and 2040, the one estimate is that the number of students will be more than double than what we have today. It will be almost about 600 million. So the question is again what I had mentioned: where are the teachers, where is the space, who will teach, and where are the laboratories, and how? But yet they have to be educated. And the UNESCO said, but no student should be left out from this. And coming to higher education of India, India is number 2 in the global size of the higher education, next to China, ahead of America. Now by 2030, it will be number 1 in the world, when it will be about 5 crore students India would be having. Today it is more than 4 crore students. And at the time of independence, it was 267,000 students across the country. And we had only 500 colleges. Now we have about 50,000 colleges. So this is the size, I say.
Very happy to know that number growing. So people talk about many inadequacies globally in the higher education system and many problems of the existing systems that need correction. It would be interesting if you could tell us about them so that people can correlate them for future corrections.
I would like to first talk about the American higher education. The reason being that the whole world follows the American higher education. The Research University of American Higher Education is role model. Even the higher education of America is also the role model of the entire world. Although America had borrowed it from Germany and the collegiate education of UK, there's the best collegiate education of Oxbridge. Now, if I talk because the world is following that, if I talk about America and others follow America, so you will know what is the problem there. If America has a problem, means other countries are having problem. So what is the problem in America? The problem is that the education which people thought the best education, even today it is, but it is not up to the mark of the academics of the America. They think it has gone down. Even they say, the academics say, that some experts say that we don't need such university, that it has lost its utility. So we should have something else. So therefore they are talking about it. Because the American education's the most important precious elements were the student and teacher interaction, very flexible curriculum, the teacher-student ratio, and also the education was totally for innovative type. It's a, you will see that, in American campuses, if you see any film also, the students are everywhere there. They are in the grounds, they are in the parks, within the university. They are in the corridor, they are in the coffee shop, they are in the hostel, they are in the gym, everywhere there. But those interactions, they are exchanging ideas, so the education, that it is that education, interactive education they had. But in that, now why people are criticizing, the reason being, again, I will come back to money. Now, according to one book, which I have quoted in my book also, that 75% of instruction in American universities are given by graduate students, at part-time faculty, adjunct faculty, and non-tenure track faculty. Actually, because the universities, because of the controlling their budget, they are having lace and lace of tenure. Tenure means the permanent professors, because they eat a lot of money. So because of that, for obvious reasons, the quality has gone down. And now teachers are doing more research, because more research means more money. So teaching is neglected. Students are suffering. So this is what is happening. Furthermore, I will say that the American universities now accepting the first top universities of USA, about 50 universities, where the completion rate is 90%. The average for USA is 50-55%. That means in general, the completion rates anywhere else is in America is less, and similarly elsewhere. But in Europe it is a little better, because in Europe many countries they offer free education, because they also collect more taxes also, but then free education. And it has been found out that where the education is free, the people don't have to pay fees, the attendance is better, and the result is also more. But then American education had its own speciality. Because of that, it was an American higher education, which is very difficult to adapt elsewhere. But then academically, a lot of universities, for example, the IITs in India, they follow the American pattern. Precisely, the education divorced from the reality, that it is not serving the purpose for which it is there. It was, it started, because even the employer, the industry is unhappy that, your students, they are no good. Most of the students are not employable. But then again, the question is that aren't there, so many people, millions of people are working. Yes, they are working. But then, the question has come up because of the first technological developments. Because the requirements change. What your knowledge is old, archaic, and outdated unless you upgrade it. This is what is the position today, but the position in future will be still more fierce. So the educations are too many. For example, the fees. Fees have increased in America in 3 decades by 600%.
That's still
and it has increased at a rate higher than the inflation rate. So it has saturated. Now the students are not able to pay. So they have debt. In America alone, in that country, the debt of the students is $1.6 trillion. And each student carries a debt. It has been accepted by the academics, and also realized, everybody will agree, that our curriculum, they are not serving the purpose. For example, the people say, that the experts say, what we teach the American top experts, those who have been in very high positions teaching for 25 years, say what we teach curriculum and the way we teach, they have become irrelevant, because they are not serving the purpose. So therefore, curriculum is outdated. So curriculum has to be change. So therefore, the suggestions which I will talk about when I talk on the further what we should be doing in future. And then coming to research is starving of, universities are starving of funds everywhere, including America. Every country. You see, everybody looks to America, that it's Silicon Valley. So, but then the American universities are starving. Therefore, the President Joe Biden, he said that we'll give you $40 billion for research. So that may be for various research, but then it is for research. So that is very important, because without money you cannot do research. And another thing, about the American higher education, particularly research, 50% of the research of America comes from the laboratories of the higher education institutions of America. So industries also invest a lot in higher education.
So earlier you mentioned the state of funding, and also can you highlight and shed some light on the future of funding?
This is the most important thing, as I had mentioned to you. Because of funding, a lot of competition, why the market forces and all that. The state of funding is very difficult and precarious in a state that many small colleges have been closed down and all that in future because of the market forces. Many will also be closed down. I will just give you an example that how the funding position has been. That in USA in 80s, the early 80s, the universities, the public universities used to get more than 60% grants from the government. Now they get only 13-14%, 15%. Okay. In UK, they used to get 70%, and now they get 13-14%. And if 2 years back, I saw that the Cambridge University got only 9%. So these, market forces started in 1980. The Margaret Thatcher-led government, they started that, you should, that we are cutting your grants on a selective basis, and then you should earn your own money. This was not known earlier, that the universities should earn their own money. So they were in a great difficulty. They were puzzled. They didn't know exactly what to do. So that's the time it started. So in UK now the position is very bad. That time the hardly universities had any sizable income from research. They do with the academic industry. But now I find that all the universities are having income from the the industry research, which is national and international. Now you take the contract or the consulting or the engineering, the consulting, and then they are earning money. So that is one. And there in quite a number of countries, you must have heard that the foreign students people like foreign students. Why people like foreign students? Because they give a lot of money to the universities in America. The fees, I'm not talking about just the fees to the universities. The economy is it was more than about $51 billion in 1 year, because their families, their food, this and that and all that, families coming visiting and all that. So these are the areas of their income, and many universities, the income from the foreign universities is more than the grant that the government gives. So therefore, foreign universities are students are so precious to the people. Therefore, you will find that go to Australia, go to this country, go to that country, because there are agents. They are so the money is in short supply. So because of that money, that is the position. Now the future funding model. Now everybody has to manage. But what is the future funding model? They will specify 3 categories. One is the top universities like Harvard, MIT, Oxford, Cambridge, Stanford. They will continue to be the same like that, excepting that they will have to recalibrate things. They have also a lot of money, but then they earn a lot of money from research. Lot of money. For example, the MIT earns about 47% of their operating expenditure from research. The Harvard also earns, but the Harvard also earns. They are the richest university in the world because their endowment is more than $53 billion. So 35% of their income from the investment in higher education, they meet 35% of their operating expenses of the university. And the second kind of universities, they have to be of different. I have seen that whether it is USA, UK, or even in India, up to about 50% recovery from students you easily find. But in private institutions, you will find, if you look at the colleges or some institutions which are the universities, their main source of income is the students' fees. So therefore, the burden is on the students. So what I am saying that up to, if it is up to 50%, it is normal. But beyond 51% to 60% and 61% to 70% is one category, and then up to 80%. Beyond 80%, I have said that they should be for-profit institutions if they are charging more than 80%. But this will depend on how the universities they plan that how many students they will offer and what they can do, how much they can earn from the research and other activities, and then they can decide what should be our fees for these students. Now, on one hand, you charge more, but the competition, the market forces, I am telling you, the students will not come to you. The fees are more high, and he finds that the fees are less in a rival institution, the neighborhood, or maybe in another area. It is less. So they have to do that, and then today students are very demanding. They want good infrastructure, they want good playground, they want good classroom, they want air conditioned and all that. So the management of the universities has become very difficult. On one hand, they have to deliver everything good. Quality of good is education is good, the infrastructure is good, students' life is good, the campus is safe and safety and all that. So this is all about money. So this model, the future model, is a very difficult to say which model, because no one size fits all. Right?
That's true.
So therefore, it will depend on which university does based on its own ability. That the next year perhaps we will be able to earn a little more from the research, or starting some new program, some fees or something something. So this is briefly about funding, because that is in my book. I have dealt with about the funding in 2 chapters. So this is what I could explain, possible for me to explain in brief.
In your book, sir, you have offered that in order to survive the fierce competition of higher education market, is it possible for the struggling higher education institutions globally to survive and flourish through a number of initiatives, measures and processes? It would be nice if you could tell us something about them for the benefit of the listeners as well.
In higher education management, that you need good governance. And that good governance starts from the board of governors of the university. So board of governors means the chairman, the members, and then in the governance realm, the executives. It starts from the vice chancellor or the president in the American system, and then deans, deputy vice chancellors, and then pro vice chancellor, deans, and pro vice chancellors, and then his team and all that. So because it is the governance, it is the board which will decide its vision, its mission, and then all that, and then initiatives and all that strategies will be decided by the vice chancellor. Now there is a feeling, according to a World Bank report by John Fielden, that the people want a very professional board of governors. Now I will come to the next, which is also very important and crucial also. I have talked a little about it. You have also heard. That is the new education. It is the new education that is most required. Because I talked first about the governance, because unless the governance is good, nothing else can happen. So therefore, the directions and vision should come from the governance. In the new education, the expert says that in USA and elsewhere also, they say that in the new education, the student should go for active learning instead of the presently the attending a class of 40, 50, 60, the lectures and the lecture is over. So it should be that maybe that the student learn more from outside the classroom than inside classroom, because there must be a question in his mind. There must be a question in his mind. Then he will think about it, and then he will talk about think that what I should do. Then he should ask his teachers. So this is research. We have a research guide and all that. This is what Humboldt had said, that the research is right from the school to higher education. It should be there. The research means what? Inquiry. And then the future is so unknown. Nobody knows, because of the advancement of the technologies, changing technologies. We don't know what will be the position after even 5 years. We don't know what is the position of knowledge requirement. So therefore, people must learn with adaptive learning. The learning should be such that he should be able to switch over to any new situation. So that that ability they have to develop through the learning, that is adaptive ability. This is all that I can say that, and for this opportunity to say some things about what I think and what I have written in the book, and whatever my worthy readers, they will find me. Say there are a lot of opinions I have quoted from all over the world, the academics and all that, and also some of my humble suggestions and all that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. So, sir, thank you so much for the knowledge, and the book looks really good, and I'm sure it is filled with a lot of knowledge. And I would just like to ask what was the process behind the publication, and would you like to mention some people who helped you publish this book? And
well, of course, I'm very happy that you asked me this question, because I'm very happy about the production itself. More and more I look at the book, because in comparison to my earlier books, I think this is so good, so pleasing also. So this book is impressive about it. 2-3 people, the top people in higher education in this country, have talked about me. Now, for any author, a lot of people think that somebody writes a book for money. We don't write book for money, because we had something in my mind, in my heart. So when somebody creates something, the knowledge, and then he would like to see its form, that how it comes. So when Rajneesh, who leads the company, my publisher, he handed over some copies of the books. I was so happy. It was a limitless joy. It has been so good working with Rajneesh, because my earlier books have also been published with 3 books, so I know what happened. I was happy and I was not happy, but ultimately that happens with a lot of academics also, that they are not necessarily always happy with their production. But so far I am concerned, I will say that I am very, very happy, and if I really write another book, I will only go to this company, curate and led by Rajneesh. This is all that I can say.
Completely satisfied and happy with RNS Enterprise.
Absolutely.
That's a delight to know, sir. And once again, we can't thank you enough for the knowledge that you have shared with us today. It's complete gold mine for us, and thank you so much once again for your time and patience. And to all the listeners, thank you so much for listening, and we look forward for this book to reach all of y'all, so that y'all can benefit from this book as well. That's it for today. Thank you so much once again, everybody. Thank you.